Welcome back everyone, Nox Guy here with another Destiny video, and today I'm bringing you King's Fall the raid. Now this is part 3 of a multi-part series of a general walkthrough of the raid, and this part is going to show you how to clear through WarPriest. Now, to get started with little tips, I would suggest equipping a shotgun, mainly because you're going to be dealing with the Yellow Hollowed Knight that you're going to need to prioritize. I'll explain a little bit more about that later. Whenever you walk into this room, the first thing you're going to notice, you're going to see 3 tablets with lit up scripture on them, and you're also going to see 3 plates in front of them. The plates correspond to each of the tablets, and the scripture on the front, as far as I'm concerned, didn't mean anything to us, but there's a symbol on the back side of them that we'll go over a little bit later that does mean a little bit more and represents what you're going to have to do. Now these plates right here, as you can see, there's 3 of them. There's one on the far left, one on the far right, and there's one in the middle. What these plates do is they're going to have a sequence that you're going to have to step on them in, and whenever you step on them within that time limit and in that sequence pattern, it will actually give the last person that stepped on his plate a buff, and it's going to give him a red shield, which whenever you're standing in the shield allows you to do damage to the WarPriest. Without this buff or this shield that you're standing in, you will he'll be 100% immune. You won't be able to do any damage to him whatsoever. Now to summon the WarPriest, all you have to do is stand on all 3 plates. You don't have to stand on them any duration of time. You just have to make sure you're all 3 standing on them, and you have to wait for the light to go away. Now, as you can tell, my plate's black, which means it's inactive, and what's going to happen is that the WarPriest is going to be in his first cycle, and he's going to start spawning in all these AoEs or slash mobs. You just have to clear through the mobs, and how we ended up, separating the groups, we had 3 groups of 2. It just helps spread the damage across the room because there's going to be a door for each plate, and you're just going to have to clear through the mobs until you get to the Yellow Hollowed Knight. Now to talk about the tablets a little bit, there is a symbol on the back of them that's going to be important because you're going to need to be able to see that symbol. Whenever you're using the tablets, the only importance that you're really going to need to worry about is whenever you're actually doing damage against the WarPriest, whenever he enrages, or not, I wouldn't consider it enrages, but whenever he actually ends that first damage cycle, that orb in the center will shoot off a white light, and the only thing that protects you from getting killed is standing behind one of these plates. Now here is the Yellow Hollowed Knight that you need to prioritize. You'll get 1 for each plate. Whenever you kill him, that'll actually activate your plate so you can actually begin to do the first pattern. Now right here, what happens is my buddy over here is going to run over to the far left and stand where he can see the backside of each of those tablets. Right here is an image of what the backside of the tablets look like when they're all 3 lit up. What's going to happen is one tablet will actually be lit up, and that means that that's going to be the tablet that needs to be stepped on first. Each time that tablet is activated that was lit up, the next tablet will show the next light, and he'll call out saying that the middle tablet and then the right tablet. So he's actually getting the pattern on the back side, and you'll see here that the last person that stood on their plate actually got the orb. Now you're going to see a lot of people starting to die here. No one's actually doing damage to them. It's just that when you receive this buff, you actually get a 4 times damage multiplier, but when the timer actually runs out, you actually die. Now as long as someone's standing inside this bubble, you'll actually be chained to it. It will pick a guardian at random whenever the person dies, but what happens whenever they die, if there's a revive, you do want to pick it up, because if you don't, all 6 of you will be killed by the end of the sequence. Now right here, you're going to see this is the end of the first damage cycle. The middle orb is actually starting to light up, and I don't know why I'm in my freaking menu at the moment. Alright, what happened, if you see that tablet was actually in front of us, which it would have been a better representation if I didn't do that, but whenever that orb shoots out that white light, it'll clear everything in the room that isn't standing behind a tablet. You don't want to stand behind all 3 tablets, because this is basically how many times you have to be able to kill him. Or to be able to do damage to him. So all of you, whenever you're standing inside that bubble, you want to make sure that you're standing beside at least one of the tablets. Obviously you can tell after doing this 3 times you're not going to have another tablet to stand behind, which means that that's going to be the last cycle. If you don't kill him within that last damage cycle, then you'll actually get killed and you'll have to restart. I'm just fast forwarding a little bit because I want to get to the part where you see where we're actually doing the damage. Again, we're clearing the Yellow Hollow Knight. My friend over here is going to run over to the far left, and he's going to look at the pattern to see which one's the first plate to step on, and he's going to yell out. As you can tell, I'm the first one to step on the plate. And look, right there where that tablet used to be, you'll actually be able to see that light that lights up the back side of the pattern. Now what we're actually doing here is, even though the last person was on the far right, there's not a tablet over there to stand behind to protect ourselves. So what we're doing is we're moving. The person that gets the bubble is actually going to run over to the center where there is a tablet. So whenever we get to the end of the cycle, we'll all be able to protect ourselves. Hopefully here in a second you'll actually be able to see me with the shield on, and you'll see the multiplier. I actually had a golden gun on, and I tried saving my super for when I had that, just because I felt that having my super and using it when I had the additional multiplier right there. Now I did use my super right there. I did get the multiplier. As you can tell, the timer just ran out and it killed me. That's what's going to happen to everybody. You're not obviously going to be able to live through any of this, and if you get the shield chained to you, but in most cases your revive time is going to be up, and as long as everybody's moving around, they'll be able to revive you and you'll be able to get back up and stand in the bubble. Now hopefully I stood there, look at the tablet long enough to be able to see what happens. As the tablet dissipates, you can tell that that's the only thing that stood there that protected you from getting killed by that light. Now after you get the WarPriest down to a certain damage, he will start to spawn in a lot of additional AoEs, not considering it's going to be taken, but it shouldn't be anything that's not manageable, considering the only one that you're going to have to worry about is the Hollow Knight, and he'll actually spawn up on the stage with you, or at least he spawned right up here with us while we're on this platform. Now we only have one tablet left. What you're actually going to see here is that you're actually going to see lights in the air, which would actually light up the backside of the tablet if it was there. If it wasn't there, then you would see them in the air. If it's red, that means it's the next tablet to be stepped on. If it's blue, that means it's currently being stepped on. Now at this point we had his damage low enough to where we weren't going to jump to the far left. It's harder for everybody to get up on that stage, so we just went ahead and went down to the center, and we just went ahead and tried to see if we could take him out before he wiped. And right there is how you do it. Like I said, if you manage to get all 3 tablets down and you don't kill them within the 4th cycle, that big white orb on the top is actually going to kill you. So you do have to make sure that you are doing a considerable amount of damage, and you do want to make sure that you do try to keep everybody in that red orb, so whoever is holding it don't move around a lot. And one thing other that I didn't suggest before is make sure whoever is stepping on the plate, they need to be the ones designated towards stepping on the plate at all times, so when someone runs to that far left corner to call out which position it is, there isn't 2 people stepping on and off the plate. And after you've collected all your rewards, all you have to do is look at the portal behind you and jump through it, and that'll continue through the next section.